the doctor's panel because I'm just a dentist. And so if there is an emergency, you should still call 911. And this actually happened at a meeting at Hillary's home. One of our guests passed out, and she turns to me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And thankfully, we have a huge team of amazing nurses who came in and rescued the day. But anyway, I'm humbled, I'm honored to be here. And we're leading a panel talking about the paradigm shift in healthcare. And I have three beautiful souls who I'm going to introduce and bring up and interview so you can hear what's happening in healthcare today and how 3 is going to make a massive impact across the world. And so our first guest is Dr. Fred Williams. He is here. He's been a GI doctor for 30 years. He trained at University of Texas and Johns Hopkins. He is just amazing. He believes in proactive wellness. He is an avid outdoor exerciser, and he and his wife, Tina Williams, is also going to join us. She is an oncology nurse. She is a survivor of cancer of 15 years. Together, they have 2 adult girls, and they just welcomed a new grandbaby 3 weeks ago, and they live in St. Louis, Missouri. And last but not least, we have Dr. Joanne Florio. She is a chiropractor and nutritionist. She has various practices in New York, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, but she resides in New Jersey. She loves the power of supplements. She has 11 nieces and nephews and loves to swim and do ballroom dancing, so that's amazing as well. And so welcome, guys, and we're gonna get right into it. I wanna kind of split this up into 2. I wanna talk about products, of course, and the power that they're implementing in their practices and what they're seeing, but then we're also gonna talk business. Because I feel like without the business, without the people talking about it, there's no use for the products. We need to move them. And so Dr. Fred, we're gonna start with you. You have been practicing for 30 years. I wanna hear how you were first introduced into nutrition and how you saw that connection between what you did every day and how supplements could help.
Well, I've been a board-certified gastroenterologist for over 30 years. And fortunately, probably 20 years ago, I started to realize that in order to have practice effective medicine, you have to look at root causes, with probably the most important thing being nutrition. And actually what brought me to that was in my younger years, I was an avid marathoner and cyclist. I read every magazine and whatnot, and realized that all the best in the world all had private trainers and nutritionists. And I figured, well, heck, if the best in the world need to have good nutrition, why is it that so many of us don't seem to feel that's important? So nutrition became very, very important to me. And then subsequently, I started to realize that unfortunately in our present world, it is very hard to get all the nutrients you need. Our foods are very depleted of nutrients due to over-farming, pesticides, herbicides, and I started to realize that appropriate supplements are not just a choice, but really are something that needs to be incorporated into everybody's regimen. And I've heard a lot of doctors say, oh, all you need to do is eat a healthy diet. You don't need all those supplements. And I think that that is just today, unfortunately, absolutely untrue. And so that's kind of what brought me to the world of supplements, and then subsequently to 3. And I guess we'll talk about that in a minute.
Sure, that was fantastic, and I love what he said there. People say all the time, I'm just going to eat healthy, and yes, in today's world, we absolutely need to supplement and detox, and our products do that beautifully. And so, Tina, I wanted to ask you, and it might be personal, but you battled cancer, and you're a survivor of that. Did nutrition and supplements play into that?
Absolutely, the recovery. I had a bilateral mastectomy, chemotherapy, a hysterectomy, and the doctors were like, you're good now, go on. And my health was completely depleted. And at one point, my doctor even thought maybe I needed anti-anxiety medicine or antidepressant. And I was like, no, I have no energy. I'm completely depleted. Because Fred knew so much about nutrition, it really started us down that path of really looking at nutrition. We were with another company for several years, and it did totally help to rebuild me. But when we learned about Dr. Dan and the advanced absorption technology in these products, it was a no-brainer. And what's really interesting is I really didn't expect to feel the difference in the products because I felt like we were using good products before, but I felt the difference within 3 or 4 days. So what we have here is really genuinely unique.
I love it and absolutely agree. And so Dr. Joanne, you have practiced for 38 years and look at her, like stunning. And so I'd love to hear again your journey of when you started, how you were introduced to nutrition, and just kind of where you've been and how you've come to 3.
Well, wait till you see me after the serum, right? I've been into nutrition since I was in 6th grade. My gym teacher gave me her granola recipe, so I made homemade fresh granolas then. And my mother, when my mother was in her 30s, my grandmother, her mother, was in her 80s, and my grandmother had all her teeth and no dental problems. But my mother had a lot of dental periodontal disease, so she started looking into what was the difference. So that's when she started, we got rid of the Twinkies, the Ring Deans, the Devil Dogs, all of that. And then it was my granola and all healthy snacks. So when I went to college, I majored in biology, and then I got my master's in clinical nutrition. So I started my practice in chiropractic right away with nutrition. I became a certified clinical nutritionist and then a diplomate of the American Chiropractic Board on Nutrition, a diplomate of the American Board on Clinical Nutrition. So nutrition has been my life. And I do cheat, but it's good ingredients when I cheat. And so it's just been a lifestyle, and I do it not so much because I'm fanatical, but I do it because when I deviate, I don't feel well. So I do it because it's a necessity and part of feeling well and doing your best.
Absolutely, I love that. And who doesn't want to look good and feel good? And yes, we have the science. Yes, at a cellular level, we're healing and root cause. But some people, sometimes they just want to feel good and look good. And so, like Dr. Schneider said, result. And so going back to you, Dr. Fred, you were using supplements. You've been in nutrition. How were you introduced to 3? And kind of a unique angle I want to take is there's probably not a whole lot of doctors here. I know in our UCUR team, we probably have sponsored over 900 medical doctors. It's incredible. But I want to hear for everyone out there who may be thinking, oh, I want to tell my chiropractor, or I would like to tell my doctor about this. How should they approach them? Because not everyone's always open, but if you could share on that a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, today's a bit of an anniversary for me. It's August 16th, and 25 years ago today, I started practicing in my practice in St. Louis. And I bring that up only to show that I'm old, but I'm actually now part-time. I'm no longer a partner, but if you look at my income last year, in real dollars, my income has not changed from 1999. And if you count in inflation, it's gone down significantly. And just to give you an idea, when I first joined the practice in 1999, a full day of doing procedures was 7 colonoscopies. Now we're doing 12 and sometimes 14. So we're making about the same amount of money, not even accounting for inflation, and working twice as hard. So we're just on the treadmill, going quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And so the first point I want to bring up is the business side of this, I think, is a very important tool for talking to physicians. Doctors are tired, they're burned out, they're seeing their income being squeezed, they have very little leverage. Basically, if you want to make more money, you just see more patients, do more procedures. So appropriately presented, they can be very open to an ancillary stream of income. The second thing is, occasionally you'll have a doctor say, well, that's unethical. Doctors should not be selling things to their patient. But quite frankly, physicians sell things to their patients all the time. Every time I tell someone they need an endoscopy to look in their stomach or a colonoscopy, I'm going to profit from that. So they are trusting me as a physician to recommend these procedures because they need them. But also I would say, you go into any dermatologist or plastic surgeon's office, you're going to see a whole wall full of skincare products. So there is nothing unethical or wrong about doctors recommending products. And the final thing I would say about that is I have absolutely no problem with that, because Tina and I use all 6 of the products, our children, other family members, dear friends. I've introduced all of them to it, so it's kind of everybody I know, not everybody's chosen to use it, but so many people I associate with are on 3, so I'm actually recommending things to my patients that actually I use on a day-to-day basis, so I don't feel like there's any kind of conflict of interest there.
I love that, like mic drop right there. I do feel like people get goofy about the money, and I always explain, every business on the planet, it's all about raising awareness for that brand and increasing the number of people utilizing that product or service if you believe in it. And again, with 3, we want these products in as many households as possible. And in doing so, yes, you can create an additional stream of income and take off some of the pressure and some of the struggle. And so, Tina, we talked a little bit about, nursing, and I feel like we do so many connect calls with nurses, and especially these last 4 years, they are beaten up and tired and disrespected and all these things, and I feel like we need nurses. We can't retire them all, but if they had something that was bringing in more money, or if they had another purpose in life to fuel their kind of soul and heart, it'd be so helpful. But I'd love to hear your perspective on that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's interesting. I was very blessed to be able to stay home and raise my girls, so I stopped nursing for a few years. And when I went back 10 years later, I was astounded. 12-hour shifts are really 14. You're lucky if you get to pee. You're lucky if you get to eat lunch or dinner. And you have way more patients. The patients are sicker than they've ever been before. And they're all, not all, but many are grossly overweight. And it's way harder of a job than it was 10, 15 years ago. And nurses are fried. They're exhausted. So you know what? A lot of nurses are looking for their plan B. And hopefully their plan B will become their plan A. Because I wholeheartedly believe that Fred and I can impact health more with 3 than we ever did as healthcare workers.
That's powerful. I love that. Thank you so much. And Dr. Joanne, so you are in chiropractic, you help with nutrition, and you're serving your patients, but you want to impact more people. And now you have this wonderful platform in doing so. So share with me your vision for the future and where you're going and where what you see for your people you can touch.
Well, one of the reasons I became part of 3 was that exact reason, because there's only so many people I can see daily, weekly, on a monthly basis, all the locations I go to. I knock myself out to see people all over because there's such a need. So because I'm with 3 and I recognized how superior the products are and the impact that just taking the Vitality and the Eternal could have on a person, just after one day, after a few days, we could elevate people's health. So it is my mission to, as a team, I can't do it by myself. I've done 38 years by myself with a finite number of people, but I need a team, I need everybody, and then to expand it even more so that we could reach people, improve their health, their financial health, their emotional health, everything. Because when you are sick, when you're not feeling well, you can't serve others. All you think about is yourself, that pain, the hip that hurts, I have headaches, whatever your problem is, that's all you think about. And if we want to be the ones to serve others instead of being served in a sick bed somewhere, we need to find like-minded people so that we can expand our numbers. We're like armies now to go out to help heal people, because there's so many patients I have that say, oh, I want my brother-in-law to come in, my sister-in-law, my mother, but they don't come in. There's some people that you can't force. But if you send them home with the Eternal and the Vitality and they start taking it, they'll start getting better. I can't keep these products on the shelf. There's a space on my shelf where Revive is supposed to be. If I order 20 of them, by the time they are delivered, they're all spoken for. So then I'm already out of them. I'm always out of them. And it's just an amazing thing. And people are amazed. I mean, especially my elderly people, it's kind of like we're waking them up. They're kind of living, but they're not alive. And these products is a vehicle for us to do that. I even have patients whose co-workers are saying, what are you doing? You seem happier, you seem healthier, you look better. I have women in their 80s who now they can walk with less pain, or they just are revived, they come back to life again. And so we just have to use this platform, which there's no other platform that could compare to this, to reach so many people. People are still recovering from COVID, emotionally, financially. We all lost so many people, so emotionally we're not well. But when you feel good because you took a good product and you're starting to eat better, then you could go out and conquer the world, and that's what we have to do as a team. And then to grow this team, where next year this venue won't even be big enough, you know? We'll need a place for 5,000 people, but that's how we have to grow it, because people are they're just hurting, and they're looking for an answer. And the doctors are the best place. The doctors are looking for another stream of income. And even doctors who are not into nutrition or don't know nutrition, all they have to do is put these 6, now 7 products on their shelf and recommend it. Who doesn't need a multivitamin and mineral? Even though to call it multivitamin is an understatement, it's way more. But that's all they have to do. And it takes not so much effort to listen to Dr. Googler's product information videos. And they're smart doctors. They could learn it instantly. So you have to go to the doctors, because those are part of our armies, the generals who know armies of people. They're so well connected that you have to go to the doctors.
I absolutely agree. We want to give you, yes, give it up. We want to give you the confidence to be able to reach out to those. Because imagine, let's just talk for a second, comp plan. We have a binary. So as you or anyone on your team shares this with someone in the medical field, a doctor, as they continue to share it with their clients and patients, that's the impact, the ripple effect that you started because you were brave enough to ask and invite them to take a look. And then number 2, the points, the volume's rolling up, that's the residual income. And guys, there's no levels here. It's infinite. Next week, next month, next year, 5 years from now. So marry that short-term excitement and action with the long-term vision of what we're going to do and where we're going to be. And I feel like the medical health care field can be a huge, huge asset. So we have 7 minutes left. I'm an on-time person. I want to do kind of final thoughts. If there was something that I didn't ask and you wanted to share, or just something that you think would impact the audience, something you want them to take home, just a nugget, yeah, 2 minutes each, shoot.
I think mine would be that this country, and I'm not sure with our Asian colleagues how it's true in their various countries, but in the United States, I think we are in an absolute healthcare crisis. We're pushing $5 trillion a year on healthcare, sick care actually as it is, and we are not any healthier. You know, it's over the last couple of years, several years, partly due to the pandemic, our life expectancy is going down. It doesn't take a healthcare professional to realize that we are a sick population. And the healthcare system is not going to dig us out of this. I think this is something that we have to work on ourselves and with our immediate group. And I think that gets back to the basics of, you know, nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress reduction, community, spirituality, all those things that make us people. But I think we are so lucky to be here today because, as I said, I don't think all that in our modern world is enough. I think the 3 products can bring us to the next level. So I think through taking care of ourselves, our loved ones, our colleagues, through all those things, but in addition, adding 3, we can start to see, at least within our immediate communities, some real changes in people's health that I don't think you're going to see by just you know, the standard reactive medical community.
Amazing, oh my gosh. Leave that recording for a second.
Well, it's interesting. Unfortunately, 3 weeks ago, fortunately, 3 weeks ago, our first grandbaby was born. Unfortunately, we got to experience 4 hospitals in that 2.5-week period of time. And I'm telling you, it's scary out there. I tell people all the time, you need to stay healthy and stay as far away from our healthcare system as you can. So Fred and I often talk. We always lead with the product and helping people be healthy, but I have to tell you, there's a huge switch going on. People need money. They need money. Our economy is scary. I never used to pay much attention to what I was paying for things, but I picked up 2 iced teas and some protein balls at a coffee shop the other day. It was $24. People need money. And so for me, it's just a win-win. You help people get healthy physically, but you've got to help them get healthy financially.
Absolutely agree. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone here who is a brand ambassador in this company at some point was on someone's list that they put together to call you because they knew you, they saw you and they saw your potential. They saw why you would be great. You know, when we make our list, we say, oh, she would be great, she's this, or this one owns a spa, or, you know, we can see their vision, we have a vision for them that we can see. So we have to remember in those times when we get discouraged or frustrated, I mean, no matter what your rank level is, frustration always is there. You know, days are there when we beat up ourselves. Days are there when we don't feel like doing what we're supposed to do. But you have to remember that somebody has a huge vision and can see that vision for you. So you just have to remember that. But we as well, we have vision for people who are on our list who are not part of our team yet. So we have to be so focused and so motivated so that we could accurately show them what we see in them. More people think of us and our potential and see more than what we think of ourselves. You know, we could be our worst enemies. But we've got to be that cheerleader for them, because no matter who they are, if they're a doctor or, you know, wherever we put them higher than ourselves, they need encouragement and they need to see the vision we have. We know our doctors could be great at this because, you know, they have their built-in network patient system, but we've got to be strong in showing them the income potential and the potential how they can help their patients. And when you are a doctor and you help your patients, your practice booms because they flock to you because you were successful in treating them. And all you have to do is give them these products and they get better on their own. You don't even have to see them really. You just give them the products and they get better. It's easy, it's so simple. And so, you know, with the grace of God sending us the people who will do this, and then our own effort, we just have gold. We are sitting on a gold mine, and we just have to mine those fields.
Woo! Love it. Thank you so much. So if you're out there today, you may be lacking the belief in yourself, and so we always say borrow someone else's belief. I mean, you guys have like a combined almost 100 years of medical experience up here. Does that create some validation and belief for you to go out and share with your friends and your family and those in the healthcare and medical industry? Because we need more people to rise and step up. I always ask people, everyone here knows a child or people, you know, whether you have your own children, nieces, nephews, friends with kids. As we look around today and we see the increase of diabetes, ADHD, autism, obesity, etc., I'm just flabbergasted that in today's world, with all of our knowledge and resources, how in the heck are we going in the wrong direction? It's wrong, and it's not right, and that's what we're here for. It's time for us as a company to unite and lead the way. We're going to impact people one person at a time, and it's going to turn into, like she said, in years to come, we're going to have these conventions and look back and be like, oh my gosh, remember? We only had like, what, 1,500 people here? And that's going to be like 15,000. And you're going to remember that you were here at the start of it. So thank you guys so much. Have a fabulous rest of your convention. And thank you, Anna. You're wonderful. Thank you.
One more time, y'all, make some noise for this amazing panel.